The start of the 2024-25 European football season is almost upon us, and it's shaping up to be another spectacular campaign. There's a few new faces along with some familiar ones. So what stories are making the headlines so far? Let's take a deep dive into the season ahead. Hello and welcome to Football Now. On this week's episode, we're taking a look at what we have to look forward to once the European football season gets underway. It's not been away for long, but we've certainly missed it. There are some great stories to sink our teeth into as the leagues begin to kick off. Let's take a look at what's in store. Starting with Kylian Mbappe, who returned to the pitch as a Real Madrid player after what was the biggest transfer of the summer. His dream move to Real Madrid finally materialised after years of being linked with Los Blancos. He is a mighty addition to what is already a very strong squad. Carlo Ancelotti will have plenty of attacking talent to choose from this season, and he could have trouble keeping all of his players happy. How could we see Madrid line up tactically as they look to defend their European and domestic crowns?
I actually believe that Ancelotti could play him as a center forward, but not like a classical center forward, like almost imitating what Karim Benzema did in the 21-22 season. You know, this false nine that comes to midfield to receive the ball, to launch the wings. He could replace Vinicius, he could replace Rodrigo. He actually can play all around the pitch, and to have those three players who can play at every position in attack, that is something that adds dynamism, that opens spaces for players like Bellingham, arriving, or Valverde even. So it opens like this huge box of resources that Ancelotti has now at his disposal.
Well, over to Germany, and after being dominant in the Bundesliga for so many years, Bayern Munich have a huge task ahead in wrestling back the title from Bayer Leverkusen. Xabi Alonso's team were quite literally invincible last season, and they'll be keen to keep hold of their crown. Bayern, meanwhile, are looking for a little bit of stability, and they're hoping that their new coach, Vincent Kompany, can deliver them just that. It was an appointment, though, that raised a few eyebrows after Kompany's Burnley team were relegated from the Premier League last season. So can he be the man to bring success back to Bayern?
I think for many Bayern fans, being manager of Bayern Munich is the second best job in Germany after Chancellor. It's just like seen as the best thing in the world, and anyone would be lucky to do it. And in many ways it is. But of course, in the last 5 or 6 years or so, they've gone through managers very fast. I think it's an interesting appointment. I think his style of play suits the club. And I think for him, it obviously, this goes without saying, but it's easier to work with a squad of Bayern Munich's quality in a league like the Bundesliga, where every game is Bayern's game to lose, than to play with a Burnley that's been promoted against these huge sides in the Premier League. So we'll see. But honestly, if he doesn't win the Bundesliga title, he's gone. That's always the bare minimum that you have to do as a Bayern manager.
Time to take a look at one of the continent's most exciting small teams now. Como 1907 earned promotion to Serie A back in May for the first time since they went bankrupt in 2016. Coached by former Spain international Cesc Fabregas, the side from Lombardy have signed several famous faces and could be in Italy's top flight to stay.
If you look at the signings they made this summer, Audero, Varane, Pepe Reina, Andrea Bellotti, these are experienced players. If you look at the names that they've brought in and the names that already were there, I do kind of expect them to not be in a relegation scrap. I have no doubts whatsoever that life living around Como will be absolutely wonderful for them and their families. They're essentially living in some sort of a paradise. But it's the football that has to work, and they have to be able to express that on the pitch.
We've heard about the current headlines then, but that's not all. Keep an eye on these stories as they unfold throughout the season. Managerial change has been one of the main themes of the summer. A crop of Italy's top clubs, including Milan, Juventus, Napoli and Fiorentina, all have new men in the dugout. In England, Manchester City are aiming for a 5th consecutive Premier League crown, but their concern will be around the future of their manager Pep Guardiola. The Spaniard is entering the final year of his contract at the Etihad. If it is to be his final season, Guardiola will surely go out to win another Champions League trophy.
And Europe's elite club competition has been reformatted, ditching its familiar group stage for a new 36-team league table system for the first phase. Each team will be guaranteed 2 more games than before, and UEFA say the new format will encourage more competitive games throughout the competition.
It's quite interesting the way they've done that, because it feels like what they've looked at is what's gone wrong with the Champions League over the past decade. Well, A, the group stages are generally boring, and B, there's too many dead rubbers, so you get to kind of the 5th or 6th day of the normal group stage and the games don't mean anything. So they've basically sidestepped those problems by getting rid of the group stage altogether with this huge system. Next season, rather than Liverpool or Real Madrid being drawn into separate groups because they're separated by their seeding, they could feasibly play each other in a group stage or an opening stage. For all we say now, it's only when it's actually put in place and actually applied that you see how it works in reality and how fans respond to it, how clubs respond to it.
You're all caught up with some of the biggest stories in European football ahead of the new campaign. Let us know what else you think could unfold this season using the hashtag FootballNow2024-25. That's all we've got time for from our studio here in Doha. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.